Seems that things may not be looking good for lightyear. So, lightyear, like 4 or 5 days ago, I think people would have been saying this movie was gonna be a massive success. It was gonna probably pass Batman and other movies, and they're open to it and at around $400 to $500 million, like every other Toy Story movie. But very, very, very recent developments basically made this movie might actually fail at the box office, just like Atsanto did. Okay, as you all know, Atsanto bombed at the box office. This and it was, even though the movie did extremely well on Disney Plus, this was the movie's box office. Wah 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 wah, which means the movie didn't even make its money back. With the budget was around 120, and of course the budget listed down the numbers as $150 million. So I used $150 million. Of course, if it's $120 million, this movie is not a box office failure, and it barely made money. But it seems that people don't really care about Disney. Okay, the thing is, people have been losing this interest in Disney for a while now. Okay, outside of course Disney Plus. I even think Disney Plus is drying up as well. And you know, you have movies like Atlanta not doing well. You have movies like Marvel's not really doing too well. Star Wars is basically dead, and let's not forget they basically killed off Fox Entertainment. So by basically us, not even advertising the movies, like for example, The Last Duel and other movies like that. But yep, Enchanto is another flop at the box office for Disney. It seems that Disney, continues to lose money at the box office. Eternals. We have Black Widow that didn't really do too well. Yes, I admit that Black Widow didn't really. Yeah, Black Widow didn't really do too well in the theaters. Okay, made money through Disney Plus, which is something that Phantom Menace can't get through the fixed calls, but it did made money through Disney Plus. I think Eternal probably still made money through Disney Plus. Okay, and merchandise. Okay, just because a movie loses money at the theaters doesn't mean it will lose money total. Okay, so if something gets very, very popular later on like a streaming service, and then of course people want to get everything they can of that series, then they're gonna, it's gonna probably make back its money. Okay, which is probably what happened to Enchanto. Especially, the song "Don't Talk About Bruno" doing very well on song charts. Okay, which really shows that Disney still has a fan base. Okay, and same thing of every big YouTuber basically bowing down to Disney and giving Tony Red perfect reviews, which is completely stupid. Okay, but then now let's get to the actual topic of it. There was a massive boycott. Okay, not a really tiny boycott, because you have these small boycotts of Disney over the years. People were saying they're gonna boycott Disney because of them buying Fox. People were saying to boycott Disney because of monopoly and they're ruining the film industry or something like that, or they're promoting some Illuminati stuff. No, this is basically Disney. Disney is basically being boycotted by a lot of people. So, parents, because basically there was this bill, and basically I'm going to explain it in the simplest of terms, okay? There was this bill in Florida called the Parental Rights Bill, okay? Twitter threw a tantrum because the bill passed, and Disney said, you know what? Twitter, the most important audience, even though they basically only make up 2% of the people who watch our movies, let's bow down. Because even though we're not based in Florida, let's basically say, let's try to actively work to get rid of the war. And basically, people like, okay, let's boycott Disney because Disney is bad. Okay, that's basically the whole summary of it. Okay, and the basically, and then of course, let's not forget, the aftermath, the government force that said, you know what, screw you, Disney. We're gonna strip all of your protections and basically probably sue you out of Florida, and basically, make Disney World become in the future a ghost town, because the governor, state of Florida really has rule over Disney being in Florida. And I think they would have to go somewhere else, probably New York or Illinois, for Disney World parks, which means you only have, the other choices. But, that's stuff that, now. And there has been a trend, and of course, there has been some successful boycotts in the past. For example, the boycott against Gillette, which basically insulted men, basically, which again was very true, and I don't even use Gillette anyways. So, I didn't have I boycotted something that I didn't use anyways. Okay, which again, Gillette basically, of course, won the West and then stopped insulting men in their ads, especially that ad. And of course, there was the boycott over Netflix over the film Cuties or Magones, which is the French term for the film. But even then, boycotts don't really last a while, especially for Netflix, because a year later, everybody became obsessed with Squid Game, probably the most overrated TV show since Game of Thrones. But it, it's still overrated to this day. But no one talks about Squid Games anymore outside of like 2 channels. So yeah, Disney, and of course there is currently, a small boycott against PlayStation for censoring their games. I think in the future there might be a bigger boycott for PlayStation if they do make another Last of Us Part 2 as well. And also there's a small boycott for Pokemon as, Game Freak, as well. And we know that boycott's small because Sword and Shield still sold 20 million copies, whereas Zazi still sold like 6 million copies, and Pokemon, Diamond Pearl Remake sold like 14 million copies. Even then, that was not even made by Game Freak. So, yeah, but basically the boycott of Disney might, continue to make Disney films, not do too well. And maybe we might see a breakup of Disney in the future. That's something I really want to see. That means Star Wars is not a part of Disney anymore. That means Marvel is not a part of Disney anymore. And that means Pixar isn't a part of Disney anymore. And Fox definitely isn't a part of Disney anymore. And of course, there are a lot of things that I think, should be changed as well. And I think I could talk about the Elon Musk by taking over Twitter. But, yep, Disney is being boycotted, which means, yep, we might have another Enchanto box office for Lightyear, because Disney basically wanted to interfere with Florida's laws. Goodbye.